Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cambridge Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood. And I'm here with the whole team of local news. Let's take a look at the clip.
I miss you. I miss us. You're never around anymore.
You tell him that
I love you, but you love your work more. That's it. He hung up.
What? Again? I'm cursed.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. You're on in 5, 4, 3, 2.
With windy weather picking up in local Los Angeles, some say they feel blown away by the recent temperature drop. Shannon Potter, local news.
Guys and girls, thank you so much and congratulations on local news. It was hysterical. I wanted more. I fell in love with the characters. I fell in love with the story. You had so many great moments in there. But for anyone out there who hasn't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
It's a day in the life of LA's most eager news team. And when I say they're the most eager, any story, anything could be made into news.
Trash like rolling down a hill is
breaking news.
A huge story, especially in Shannon Potter's eyes. She's pretty manic and like she's very excitable, and Mitch is kind of her cameraman who is her partner in crime, who kind of like levels her out but also can't even come close to making her like
it's a hilarious, dysfunctional, codependent relationship.
Absolutely.
It yields, I mean, great work. You know, we find the riveting stories out there in LA. You know, dirty bathwater.
Yeah,
that's what
was
you need.
one.
Yeah.
We need each other for sure. Otherwise, I would just drive my car in circles as the reporter being like, "There's a story."
It's the same story. We just passed it 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what happens when you turn in a circle. We have.
I feel like we're on set of local news. This is sort of like
This is actually the crew we
amazing.
used. Hey guys, great to see you again.
Well, we've been working on these. I mean, we've been working on these characters for. Right. We put out little Instagram 1 minutes. I put out Instagram 1 minutes of Shannon Potter, the reporter, just to like get her going for a while, and then we added Mitch in, and we did those for like months, and then we did our pilot, so we could just like click right into it.
Well, we fell in love with Shannon and Mitch. It's like your dynamic, your reaction to each other as actors is just so, the comedic timing is brilliant. Like it really is fantastic. Awesome. Where did the inspiration come from? You know, in creating these characters, because you know you take it from the page, and then you guys have got to work it, right?
Right. Well, very real. I worked as a news writer in Boston at Channel 7. It was very intense, stressfulness, and my mom was like, "Well, you should be a reporter. You can't be an actor in LA. There's no way." Like, what? I'm from Boston, so it's like guilt. So basically, I was like, "Yeah, of course, I must be a reporter because I'm on the guilty path."
Yeah.
So
Irish, yeah,
exactly. So I made a reporting reel where I followed a reporter around at 4 a.m. for like a week. And it was really intense and stressful, and I was like, I had to have the right outfit, and I wore all the wrong things. I wore so many white dresses, which was just awful. I had a lot of scarves. I was a little like, I was too much. I had like earrings. They were like, what is going on?
A lot of
My hair
layers.
was long.
Amazing.
Anyways, I made this reel, and it's so uncomfortable. You could just tell I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing during the whole reel, and I'm talking about like crime and people getting tied up and like traffic and all this stuff, and my friends watched it and they were like, this is so funny. I'm like, what?
She didn't stay in news. So it was like, you know, now she came out here, she is an actor.
I moved to LA. I left news after my friends were like, this is funny. I'm like, this is supposed to be very serious. And then Evan saw it.
So we were thinking for a long time about how should we work together. And, you know, as comedians and sort of you get used to this world of self-producing and self-creating. You want to find something. You want to find an idea with legs where like you could make 100 episodes if you needed to. And from my perspective, it always works best when it does come from something that's true and something that's real.
Personal story, right?
Personal story. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, she
Personal
wasn't
anxiety.
It wasn't as dysfunctional and crazy, but it was rooted in something that was true.
Yeah.
And so we started doing research. All reporters, all local news people they make these little videos of themselves. It's like a day in the life videos, and this is they all do it
in real life.
Yeah, and they're showing like how quick they can put a story together.
Yeah.
And their team, and the team is
Day in the office.
The team is a
love it.
mess.
The team is them and a
team is
camera
brilliant.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
one person who's like, you got it? It's like,
Yeah.
here we are.
There's
And-
one guy who's
love
burnt
it.
out. There's the woman, like the woman or the guy wearing so much makeup, and they're just like permanently like, everything's fine, everything's
Yeah.
gonna work out great.
It's just a mess.
love it.
So yeah, the idea came from a true story, and it came from doing research about like the local news world and what they normally do.
Yeah.
So we watched a bunch of them, and we were like, I think this show is, instead of being mockumentary, this is actually we're
Pretty-
speaking local news, like language back to local news, which is day in the life videos, which
Yeah.
they all do.
yeah.
I think it really does help when you're coming obviously from a truthful place. And I think in the world of news right now, we need something a little bit more lighthearted and humorous and
Exactly.
kind of,
Oh,
you
yeah.
see
Exactly.
that. And I think timing was perfect. Now, you must have had a ball filming this, like really.
Yeah,
This
no,
must have
it
been
was
exciting.
so much fun because it really had to like challenge myself and flip my brain upside down essentially, because we kept talking about how the camera alone is a subject. You know,
Yes.
like without saying anything, they are a part of their crew, like documenting this news crew. So that person maybe, might be like more of an amateur with the camera, like it's just tripping over things, or so I had to kind of implement errors where I could, which was like,
Be
I always
imperfect.
want to, make everything so beautiful and beautiful style-y and panning things and compositionally. And this, I kept doing it for the first couple like takes. I was, like, oh, I really have to like rack in there. I have to like miss them and then come back.
Oh,
It's
I
almost
love it.
like
Yeah.
The Office, where it's just like terrible, like zoom in, zoom out, a little bit of like a camera shake or something.
Yeah.
It was so raunchy. And then I kind of was like getting into it and really helped me break my patterns in a new way. So it was fun. It was fun.
I love, because people don't realize, but I mean, as a filmmaker, I realize, and I'm like, your camera moves and everything that you choose to make in the camera, was comical. It made,
Right,
you have to
exactly.
choose comical movements in which, I love the way you just pan in the office and there's all these characters, you're like, oh my God.
And then
Like,
moved away.
I'm like, just like, woo. And, the way you introduced the characters was just fantastic.
We
you know?
talked about that. We said, well, what is, if the camera does have a point of view, does it favor people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it does not favor Shannon.
No,
favors
so Shannon's
star
talking.
reporter.
Yeah.
If Shannon is talking, and then she has a female, like her female competition, who's the very put together.
She's very clean.
Yeah.
She's an amazingly put together corporate level. She's like not going to be in local news long kind of thing. That's for that's for. I don't want to be here forever.
Not
that's
based
her
on a
line.
true story,
She's-
no.
Yeah. And
She's anchor
yeah.
status.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like hustling and so when I'm talking, the camera's like kind of going away from me and going to like the star reporter who's just like, I'm happy and everything's put together
It's all awesome.
and everything's great.
Yeah.
Which you're like,
What's
really?
happening? What's really going on?
What's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on inside,
Yeah,
though?
something's not. It's empty, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I love. There were so many just comical moments that I love, which obviously as comedians is part of your forte. But it was really wonderful. Was there any challenges, or was it all kind of just easy?
Well, no budget.
$0 and 0 cents.
You kind of have to phone in the favors, but
Yes.
it's incredible when you have something that you believe in and you have some people that you don't even know will just
Everything,
be
isn't
like,
it?
I'll do it for you. Like a 2 full day shoot. I mean, long shoot where we're like running around and people, it's so amazing. Even Kristyna, like she's busy, incredible person who's doing 100 things, and we're like, can you just maybe trust in these ridiculous characters?
Even schedule wise, like our director Chris Keener flew in the night before, hadn't really read the script, and was like, he just knew it was with us and that it was going to be funny, it was going to be great. He walked in and was like, he's like, I have 1 day. I
Yeah.
have 2 days in LA, and I want to be here with
He's
you
shooting
guys.
a Netflix series right now, and it's just like,
Yeah.
What was
okay.
also, I think what was also really interesting too is like watching them go through the edit process and kind of going through a couple different editors to really like comedy. They actually know how to edit comedy themselves brilliantly, and they just aren't like they're not in the depths of Premiere every day, but they know like the beats that they need to hit, and it's so important for the comedy to work and the jokes to be heard correctly. Yeah. So that was a process.
The edit was the layered sort of editing process was definitely, that was really challenging. It was a new part because we're used to live comedy. Yeah. So we're editing in real time, and we're getting constant feedback from an audience.
Yeah.
But like when you're editing, you're just the challenge was is there anything else in this frame, in this scene that's funny that we should bring attention to? So one of the last ones was the scroll bar at the bottom in the news. Yeah. So we realized it was always the same in every, and I was like, maybe as the story develops, the scroll bar develops. So in the beginning, it's like breaking news, something about water, like something's not right with this water, and then it moves on to saying like manager schmanager, and is plumbing an aphrodisiac, and no one might notice, like maybe 5% of an audience is even going to be looking there because all the action's happening above. But I noticed at the screening there was a few people who were really keyed in, and it was like, it's
like the scroll person's like, I just gotta run it really quickly.
Yeah. But again, there's so many moments you can play with, with the camera, with the things that in the edit, in the post, and people forget it's not just the performances. I mean, the editing in comedy. I mean, that's such an important thing. Timing is everything, isn't it? And
the cuts.
It's amazing. You got such a great reaction at New Filmmakers LA.
It was so much fun.
So great. Yeah. What was that feeling like to have it at New Filmmakers LA last night? What was your experience like?
It was so like amazing because it was like, I would say that we've kind of shown our friends or whatever, and it was like we got to sit down and we had nothing to do. We didn't have to set up anything. We just got to sit down and enjoy it. And honestly, like the laughs were everything because people were laughing at behavior stuff, which is like strictly character work. Like people were laughing at stuff we didn't even write. We were just like doing and that was so satisfying. And the people who came up to us were like really down to earth, really cool. They were like, dude, that comedy is my kind of comedy. Like I love that. I want to know. They just wanted to know more. Yeah. And to put something together. And you're an actor. You have all these like, I don't know, is it funny? I think it's funny. Am I a crazy person? And people come up to you and they just like genuinely enjoy it. And they don't want anything from you. They just want to know more and how to find it, how to find more.
Speaking of which, how do we find more? Because there's some short films that you have and you're like, wow, that was a great story, and you put it to bed and it will sit with you and you remember it. You had this style where we want more. Can we have more? Is there more? Can we have more? Is there going to be more? Do we get exclusive? What's happening?
So it's in development. And
it is.
It's just waiting for the right production company, the right investor. I mean, if you watch that pilot, anybody out there?
Hint.
The work that we wanted to do was really know the characters, really know what a first season and maybe a second season would look like, and
third season and the fourth.
And this fourth, but we'll get ideas for 3 and 4. Yes. Right now we've got 1 and 2, but that was the key. How do we look at this? Like when we have complete control over making an episode by ourselves, what does that look like? And I feel like we did it. So now it's like, okay, if you're a production company or if you have a short form distribution model that you want to throw us into, we're interested. And we're looking for people like us who are passionate storytellers, but in the distribution realm, in the producer realm, and just keep making more.
And 10, we're thinking like 10 episodes, 10 minutes. So it's like not as like low as like 6 minutes, but we want to keep it at like 10. A 10 episode series on a platform that is easily accessible, that isn't as big as like YouTube and Facebook. Like we have a Facebook page, it's Local News TV, which we're putting things out there, and we're probably going to release a second episode just to kind of keep people in the in the loop and everything. But we're looking for funding for a bigger platform, so we can make these, because
but I think the greatness is that we're in such a mode and world right now where our attention spans have got really slim, and
So
5 or
slim.
6 minutes is actually really just about right for us.
Oh my God, it's like
We're
perfect.
We're really good for sketch writers. Like, we do sketch
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So it works. That time frame of 10 minutes is a pretty good sketch length. And to put together, the kids are calling them 10 by 10s.
Yeah.
To put together a 10 by 10 that does all the stuff that the pilot does is, I mean,
It's
we're
nuts.
just waiting.
Yeah.
We're like as excited
yeah.
that the audience loves it as, I mean,
Yeah.
we're thrilled.
We're ready.
We're ready to do
Put
it.
the list of requirements
just
on the
wanna make
bar
more.
underneath what they just said. It's got to come up at the bottom, like a recipe. So for success.
Exactly.
But I
Christine,
think
maybe you.
it's-
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, I think it's really cool though that they are structuring their thinking about how to create this in large scale for like this generation, or
Yeah.
just for people that are literally, they need a laugh, they're having a bad day, and a 10-minute segment will do
Yeah.
that, and you can't commit to something bigger. And
Yeah,
we
of
kind of have to
course.
flip our brains in a way
We
with
do.
like how we're digesting so many different outlets and channels and media, and they're thinking in that way, which I think is kind of a really healthy way to sort of look at how everybody's taking in content.
And I love how we
Dirty
turn
word.
this into a production meeting about local news for the future. I'm very excited about that. Last night we had, again, we can't do it just with, we can't just do it about all the incredible people that support us. And we had United Nations there
that was
last night.
amazing,
We
yeah.
had women in film, women and film. Alliance of Women Directors.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have storytelling locally and globally all over the world, and we celebrate everybody and everything all year round. But we did put a focus on the fact that it was Women's Independence Month, which is so important, and we're in such a great movement now to move on up. And then also launching the campaign Time to Step Up for men to kind of step in and support women, and let's take on this journey together. How do you feel about that last night?
Oh, I thought the support was huge. Like, I loved the speakers. I loved everyone just kind of coming together. And it's like, I think it's more like, it's not like now we're finally stepping up. It's like, we're just pushing, we're just coming up behind everybody. And we're like, yes, create. Yes, your ideas are important. Yes, your vulnerability is so amazing to watch. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of...
And I really love the way that you positioned it as kind of a leader in giving a way for men to know how to express themselves through all of this, this tension. Because you just saying like, okay, men, it's time for you to step up, and that's kind of been the conversation. But really highlighting that, because I feel like when men now understand their agenda and how they can help, and they don't feel like it's a threat to them, but really just let's find amazing female stories that exist, and let's try to continue to tell that story. So it was great that you kind of curated that, and overall it was such a diverse crowd, and I felt like that is the best way to really get a feeling, getting a sense of how your film is going to do, or how your short is going to do, and just kind of sense, is everybody laughing, what types of jokes are there, male laughs, are there female laughs, that's interesting, they found that there. But it was a really cool, just diverse mix of people that I think is just the best way to go.
I think Penny Johnson sort of was one of our speakers. Pretty much, followed through and said that as well. And she didn't know what to expect, but it was so great because this is the future of Hollywood.
I love that.
Yeah.
This is us,
If you look at it like this, so, growing up in the 80s and the 90s, all of the comedies dominated by this sort of kind of bro-centric lampoon kind of vibe, where the woman is never smart. She's only there really to serve the story as like sort of a sexual gaze. That's
Bachelor
it, really.
party.
But,
and people like Ellen had to break through, and Joan Rivers, and all those amazing people.
Exactly. And the time that we're in now, I think what people with as many different distribution ways to there's like a new channel like every hour, like people are, have you seen this thing, and I'm like, I don't even, what is that on, what is that? And with all these different modes of distribution and channels and all this stuff, it's kind of like you've elevated the audience to be they're very discerning on story. People are very smart on story, and they've kind of seen everything. And what's left when you've seen everything? It's like, I don't really want to explore a bro-y concept anymore. I would much rather work on a project where it's exploring female competitiveness in the workplace. And that it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, and that I just want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see that story.
Yeah, and vulnerability. It doesn't have to be like super sensitive vulnerability. Vulnerability just meaning like exposing what we really think about.
Yeah. Humans interacting
Humans.
with each other.
We are humans.
It's simple.
We are people.
Kristyna, Evan, Amanda, I love local news. I can't wait to see much more. Please share us more. Your alumni, your
Yes.
family. Please keep it coming, and congratulations on your film. And
Thank you.
we are wishing you the genuinely best successes for the future.
Yay.
Yay,
Thank
local
you.
news. Everybody watch it. There we go.
Thank